really love our intro because I had a guest on recently. All taken back.
Like
It's a halfway decent intro. I really like the little beat and all that. It's cool. But welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. Fellas, we got the big three on tonight. I mean, every night. How y'all fellas doing?
Doing good.
Yeah,
Everything's good over here in Jersey. I don't know about in the city though.
Miles is doing better than me, bro. It's all right. I'm not sick. That's all that matters, I guess. But you know, the Giants, the Mets, it'll be all right, I guess. It is what it is.
On tonight's docket, we got Lions Super Bowl chances without Aidan Hutchinson. The Ravens, do they have the best offense? Which team got better in the AFCS? The Jets or the Bills? We got Week 7 picks. We're going to talk a little bit about the Western Conference in the NBA because the season starts in 6 days exactly. Before we even get started, y'all know the vibes that we need you to follow, like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, share it with your mom, your uncle, your cousin, your baby moms, and anybody that's even in jail. They have cell phones, so share it with the people in jail. They got time on their hands. Share it with them. It'll be a good listen, help them get through their life sentence. Starting off, Aidan Hutchinson just had a very gruesome injury, broken leg. They had obviously hopes and dreams and desires to be a Super Bowl team this year after the season they had last year. Where do y'all see the Lions season going without Aidan Hutchinson?
I mean, you know, looking at them, I think they're still such a deep football team. They're gonna be able to, you know, write their ticket and get to the playoffs, obviously, and still make a run in the playoffs. The NFC is all wide open, man. I mean, even with the injury, it's obviously significant. He was a sack leader before he went down, and so that's a significant blow for the team. But I still think that they're going to be able to pressure the quarterback. You know, they have a great offensive line. They can keep their defense off the field by running the football. They're going to make a trade for a depth piece on the D-line. They'll do that. They'll add somebody. It won't be Max Crosby, which is just asinine, and I don't know why people are even talking about that, even though they should trade Max Crosby. But that weird haircut guy up in over in Vegas won't do that. So, yeah, man, I mean, I think they're going to be able to compete, you know, and hold their water for a while. Even with the injury, they're going to be dominant as well. Because, again, the offensive line is dominant. They protect the quarterback. They run the football well. They stop the run. And they've been able to rush the passer. That might take a bit of a hit, but I think they'll make a trade. They have the assets to go out there and make a move. And as long as someone wants to be a willing trade partner with the Lions and it's something in it for them, they can go get a tier, like a lower tier defensive end to come in and just add to a rotation. But it won't be a superstar. So they're going to be just fine. I mean, they're a really good football team, top to bottom. They're talented. If not now, then when for the Lions? You know what I mean? You got to get it done regardless. This is not an excuse for them. And this is it. This is it for them, honestly. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But I think they're going to be just fine, even with the Aidan Hutchinson injury moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this team is really like an old school. They want to run it first. I mean, that's how they started every game. They run it with David Montgomery. They got Gibbs, so the thunder and lightning right there, and that kind of carries this team. And you sprinkle in a little Jared Goff, who he shows that he can be a really good quarterback in this league sometimes. It's crazy. But the Aidan Hutchinson blow, that's huge for this team. I mean, he was on his way to possibly being one of the front runners for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, leading the league in sacks. He was looking really good. Like, he was breaking out this year. This was his breakout year. So to lose a guy like that, where I think he had 7.5 sacks and the next guy doesn't, it's like two sacks. So it's hard to replace a guy with that type of impact and, you know, who commands that much attention on defense. So they're going to have to get creative, whether that's by trade. I mean, I saw that they reached out to the Jets on Hassan Reddick, which that's probably just due diligence to see, like, oh, what would it take for us to get him on the cheap? Because I don't think anybody's trying to give up too much for him. But they need to bring in somebody who can do half of what Aidan Hutchinson was able to do, because that's going to put more pressure on their D-backs to really lock in. And Terrion Arnold, I mean, he was their first-round pick this year, and he hasn't been as good as they thought he'd be. It's early, but he's not as good as they thought he would be. Brian Branch, though, that kid is really good. He's like the honey badger for them. So they do have pieces on that defense to kind of hold them over, but they're definitely going to have to make a move. I mean, I know the deadline's coming up soon, so watch out for a trade. They might make a big one, a splash.
Now, on the other front, we're not going to touch about the Ravens yet. I know what everybody is here for. You're watching this, you're listening to this. Y'all want to talk about the trades. Davante Adams traded for third-round conditional pick to the New York Jets, reunited with his best buddy, and Amari Cooper traded to the Bills. Which of these teams, with this trade, do you feel that the needle was moved the most to accomplish the goal of winning a Super Bowl?
I mean, I guess you could see it from both angles, although I would lean towards the Jets. I mean, you bring in a guy who, Davante Adams, he's a one. You've got 2 ones on offense now, along with Lazard, who, I mean, by the numbers, has been one of the better receivers in the league right now. So now you got 3-headed monster for the Jets receiving wise. They do need some help on defense, but I think they'll get that tightened up. The main thing is now you got a receiver who has chemistry already built in with Rodgers. I mean, they were in Green Bay for what, 7-8 years, and Rodgers helped him become the receiver that we know today. So bringing him in, I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do this trade now. I really wish we would have been able to go 3-3 and be tied for first place in the division when we did this, but we can make a run here. And I mean, if we can get to 4-4 by Halloween when we play the Texans, I mean, the sky's the limit. The Amari Cooper trade is cool, but we could be seeing a decline in Amari Cooper. He hasn't looked as explosive. He's been he's leading the league in drops, I think. I mean, I think receiver is a position you're supposed to catch the ball, Greg. Am I right? I mean, that's what you do on Thanksgiving. You catching the ball. You're not dropping it. I mean, I hope not. But yeah, Amari Cooper, it's a cool move. But the way this offense in Buffalo is being ran, they're leaning more towards the run. I mean, you saw it on Sunday. Or Monday night, they were killing us with the run. And I think that, you know, if it's 60-40, that might be 55-45 now, but I still think it's going to lean towards the run.
To his point, I'll let you go, Greg. To his point, for those that's watching and listening, he's alluding to ESPN has Amari Cooper rated as the worst wide receiver so far this season. Analytically speaking, he's in the bottom 5 of players when it comes to separation. So it may seem as if he is on a decline. I did listen to a podcast today that somebody that is a Raiders insider, and he mentioned when Amari Cooper was with the Raiders and they weren't playing well, Amari Cooper is known to not give as much effort. So that's what we could be seeing, because when you got a quarter like Deshaun Cosby, I don't know how much effort I'm giving either.
As a receiver, why would you run full speed? And I don't give giving half effort, but the guy's been in the NFL for a long time. He's a veteran. You running full speed when you know Deshaun's going to throw you a bounce pass, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. That's not the way it's going to happen. So clearly, he's rated that low, and clearly Miles is saying that he's declining, which he's just saying that to fit his narrative because, it has to be about the Jets and all that. So I get that. But the reality of it is if you look at these two teams, the Bills were closer before both trades were made. The Bills are closer to a Super Bowl and being a Super Bowl contender than the Jets were, way closer in my opinion. And then on top of that, you add Amari Cooper, which is a real weakness for that football team. That was a real position of need. The reason why they run the football so much and they almost one-dimensional with the way they run it is because they don't have receivers that they can trust. Keon Coleman runs a 7.5 50-yard dash. So you can't throw the ball to that guy. He's not winning off the line of scrimmage. He's getting jammed. It has not gone well for the rookie. Okay, he's funny and all that. I know they're posting him on social media, but clearly his performance is funny too. And that's the real problem they're having over there. So that now you have a guy, a trusted wide receiver who you know can get open. He is a route connoisseur. That's what he does. He's going to be open. He's going to be available to Josh Allen. He's going to be a safety valve for Josh Allen. He's going to fit right in like a glove in that offense. And they can run the ball. So now they have play action variability. Now they can go to the play action game and throw the ball down the field. They're going to be hard to beat. That team can win a Super Bowl. That's a real Super Bowl contender. Their defense is very good. Taylor Rapp is a hell of a player over there. Their D-line played good football. Epineza got to the court, getting to the quarterback. Rousseau is coming on strong. That is a very, very good football team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl legitimately. All the Jets did was continue to do the same thing they've done that put them in this mess, which is appease Aaron Rodgers. They did nothing to add to the Super Bowl hopes by adding Davante Adams. He's literally a fine piece of china. That's all he is. They didn't fix the bedrock of the football team. They didn't fix the foundation of the football team. You know what the Jets' problem is? They get gashed in the run game. They have no run integrity. They don't stop the run. Football is such an easy sport. Protect the quarterback, rush the quarterback, stop the run. And icing on top, if you can run a football, even better. But protect the quarterback, right? The Jets don't protect the quarterback particularly well. They don't stop the run, right? So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? The receiver play is going to be better. I'll tell you that. You're going to see immediate results. They're going to beat the bad teams in the NFL. But when it comes down to playing the Chiefs, the 49ers, when they get right, the Bills, right? Who else? What other contenders? All these contenders in the league, they're going to lose those games because you can't stop the run. You can't stop the run. So how do you win those football games if you can't stop the run? To me, it's that simple. So I don't know if it's Hassan Reddick being out. That's the problem. And it messed up their depth of their rotation. Maybe that's what it is. But the point is, we are what we are. And they don't stop the run. So again, the Bills were closer in the first place, in my opinion. I think the Bills have really vaulted themselves into being right up there with the Chiefs, in my opinion, as a team that could really knock them out and win a Super Bowl. I really do believe that. I think they're going to be that good because they run the ball and they're going to have that play action working. And Amari's a very, very good player. I know from firsthand accounts how good that guy is. Him sharing a division with the Giants for so long, and he ain't washed. Deshaun sucks. He is the worst quarterback in football. The worst. He's worse than Daniel Jones. He's the worst, bar none. There's no Aidan O'Connell. All them bet he's ass. He's ass. So there's no discussion. So I don't blame Aidan, what's his name, Amari Cooper, for his performance over there. And he's out of Cleveland. Please, he'll be all right. He'll be just fine.
You mentioned playing well against teams that aren't that good. Wasn't on the docket, but I have to ask because you guys have been locked in because we've been talking about Jayden Daniels and giving him his praises.
Amazing.
Caleb Williams, back-to-back games, looked good. Not the best opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think this is starting where Caleb Williams turns it around and will play better?
It's going to be a season of up and down for him. But his gifts and what he can do really, really well, man, he's going to be successful. So I think you're going to see a trend upwards for that guy. I really do believe it. We talk about Caleb Williams. So his ability to go from read A to read B to read C and read the field, and the O-line's playing good football. They're running the football well. I know they haven't played great teams, but I do think that you're going to see him progressively get better. That kind of arm talent, man, the ability to throw on the run that he has and the touch he can throw it with. I know he's missed some throws. He hasn't been nearly as sharp as Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels has been the bbest quarterback in this rookie class by a mile. But Caleb is there from a talent perspective. So I fully expect him to continue to try to check upwards and play good football. I got no reservations about that. He was a slam dunk pick, and he really was. And make no mistake about it. He's going to be successful. He's just wired that way, and he's got the talent to back it up, and he plays the position the right way as well. He's just doing less, and by doing less, you're doing more. Less is more. at the quarterback position. Stop running around. Stop thinking it's USC. Stop trying to dodge and evade tacklers. Learn when to take a sack. Learn when to throw the ball away. He's doing those things. So credit to him. Credit to the coaching over there. They're doing a good job. And Eberflus might just save his job. Lucky him. Look, he got 9 lives. Happens when you're white, I guess.
And it does seem that all his good play has come since DeAndre Swift has started to play a little better. So once you get some action in the run game, that does open things up for you to pass the ball. I mean, and you're also getting Keenan Allen, who was a little more of a factor in this last game. DJ Moore, I think after the bye, you'll see Roma Dunze start to become more of a factor too. So I think we could be seeing an upward trend. And I think out of the bye, we have the 2 rookies butting heads in that matchup next week. So that's one that I think they flexed it to primetime. They put Cincinnati Bengals game right after the Notre Dame game on Saturday, right? I think. I'm not sure, but
probably.
Bengals ain't worth it.
Now, you mentioned the accuracy and the precision that he's been passing with as of late. A quarterback that's been doing that and has been quietly just been on a tear and is looking like the front runner for MVP, none other than Lamar Jackson. The offense is the number 1 rated offense, number 1 in rushing yards, which is, of course, expected. Top 3 in scoring. He's 108 QB, 108 quarterback rating, 69% completion percentage. Do the Ravens have the best offense? Especially you talking about Thunder and Lightning with him and Derrick Henry, who has been on a tear for the last 3-4 weeks.
I have my questions about the Ravens. I mean, obviously, right now, we're talking about right now, so let me not get too far ahead of myself. Right now, yeah, I say they do have the best offense in football. I think that they're the most explosive offense in football right now because they're marrying the run and the pass game really, really well, right? They're able to run out of the eye and get Derrick Henry running downhill. And I think that when you marry that with the idea of a play action game, and you're getting Zay Flowers the football, which is a good idea. Thank you, Lamar, for finally doing that. But when you're able to do that and play off of those 2 guys, everyone else starts to eat. Rashad Bateman, you start to see him a little more. Mark Andrews finally got a catch, even though he's running 2 miles an hour every route. He's starting to get the football a little more as well. And so, and even Likely, they're keeping Likely involved, right? After a great week 1, he fell off the face of the earth, but now you're starting to see him a little bit more in the offense. So slowly but surely, you're starting to see him play on time more. I think with him, it's about playing on time. Get the football out on time. We don't have to and not every play has to be a spectacular play where you're running around playing backyard football. And so the less you see that, the more you see runs downhill, the more you see him throwing the ball out on time, the better they're going to be. And I think they've been doing a better job of those things. It's less of that chaotic style of football where you're trying to make guys miss and you're not getting the ball out on time, right? Less of that and more being on script. And you're seeing that. So they are better because they have a lot of talent. Right. And so it was just about getting the ball out where it needs to go at the correct moment to do so. So credit to them. Yeah, I think they're the best offense in football and Super Bowl team as they are every year. But let's just see if he can go beat that light skinned dude up in Kansas City when it comes down to that moment. Because that's what it's going to come down to. Make no mistake about it. We're going to see though. We're going to see. Still have my questions about him.
That's going to come down to whether Lamar can make all these throws in the playoffs. Like, sure.
Exactly.
Like I said last week, he can do all this in the regular season. I mean, Lamar in the regular season between September and January is Hall of Famer. It's just when he gets into late January, it gets a little dicey. Hands get smaller, ball gets bigger, it's breathing a little heavier. So I'm more worried about that. I'm not worried about them playing well. Like, this offense is humming right now. They got Derrick Henry. And he just wears out a defense. I mean, you see guys are afraid to tackle him once he gets past the first wave of defenders. And that's just going to make it easier for them to, throw off of that. And they've been spreading it around. Bateman's starting to get more involved. I think they should get him more involved more often. I think he's their second most talented pass catcher on this team. If we're being frank, like, Mark Andrews is recovering from a foot injury that he had surgery on in the offseason, likely inconsistent. And then Zay Flowers is your best playmaker. So get some of those guys more involved so they feel appreciated and they're not running routes like Amari Cooper, and you'll have something special. So
I'm sorry for our viewers and listeners. Something just popped up on my phone. We won't talk about it, but Angel Reese was on a video saying that she was not even aware of what her salary was and that she's paying $8,000 in rent every month, $96K a year, is unaware of what her salary is, and the WNBA doesn't pay any of her bills.
endorsements. I mean, I guess that
It's just concerning to hear a player not know their salary with what we've seen of players going broke.
Yeah.
I'm not in that tax bracket, but $8,000 a month on rent.
I mean, she's not hurting for money. She made a lot of money in college. She probably has a lot of endorsement deals. I mean, Reese's Pieces. I mean, that's a given. She's getting bread off of that. So
Reebok deal.
Yeah, Reebok deal. So the WNBA check, I mean, she'll get another one after this. But yeah, when you hear about the $8,000 a month on her rent and being clueless about it, it is reckless. But I'm sure she's good. She's traveling everywhere. She's, the
thing I got sent to my phone, she says in the video herself that she's living beyond her means. That's where it's like, you're aware that you're living beyond your means. That's not smart with your money. I don't think she's gonna be broke, but that's not smart money management, I should say.
I think the thing we're not taking into account is that these young people are doing this thing called tricking nowadays. And Angel Reese
tricking if you got it.
We don't know if she got it. So with her, when she walk around here with the little hiked up shorts and everything like that, and she at the Ravens game 2 weeks in a row and all this stuff, trying to go see Jaden Daniels play. Just know one of these niggas paying her bills. That's all I'm gonna say. So she might be tricking, and I hate to but I don't. She's an independent woman. She might very well be paying her own bills on her own. But women love to spend other people's men's money, so it's possible. It's possible. I'm just gonna say that.
In respect to the Jaden Daniels thing, I think they go back to college or something. They knew each other on that aspect.
LSU, that's okay, but Jaden Daniels, okay, all right.
Because I saw her posted up with his mom, so I think the family ties right there.
That's
outside of that. She has alluded to and mentioned on her podcast that she needs to be with a player of a certain status. She wasn't accepting anything else. But shout out, I don't remember the person's name, but shout out to, I saw a video of this female that was saying, all y'all females that's talking about y'all need $100 for lunch. If my man sent me enough for a 4 for $4, I'm happy. shout out to the women that's like that, because you don't need $100 for lunch. And she said, if you having $100 for lunch, you better have a cake back there. If you ain't got the cake back there, you shouldn't be. What are you eating for $100? You at Ruth Chris every day?
I'll rest my case. I'm not saying nothing else. You heard what you just said, right?
You
heard what you just said, right? She's not exactly aerodynamic.
Hey, Miles. you on the market, man. I pray for you every day.
I just told you. You just said that. You just said you just quoted, the girl from wherever the social media platform you saw her. You heard what they said, or girl, you heard what they said. Like, just look.
You was right, because there's too many of these podcasts out. It be pissing me off. It's females that be like, I need to send me, I need to do this because they want to spend his money. And a lot of them, they ain't never spent $100 on lunch, but they expect you as the man to send me $100 for my lunch. And if you don't, I'm gonna get if you send me 30, I'm gonna get the rest of the balance from another, and I'm gonna give him the cookie because he gave me more money. It's nasty out there.
It's bad, bro.
Nasty. It is nasty out there. I'm not trying to rush you at all, Miles, but I hope you get wiped immediately because it's nasty work out there. Yeah. It is nasty. His birthday coming up, so anybody that's watching this though, we can put his cash app.
This tangent is crazy.
We can put his cash app in the comments. Oh man, this turned into it is what it is podcast real quick. But
I was saying they're tricking out here, man. They're going both ways, but you know, women little trick.
You saw Kayla Nicole say, do I look like 50-50? Do I look like I have to go 50-50 on that?
Oh God. Oh my God. That got me hot. Let's not do it. Let's not do it, bro.
Week 7 picks. Eagles, Giants, the Saquon Barkley revenge game. Who y'all got winning this game?
The Eagles.
Malik is back.
Andrew Thomas is out. So and Eagles suck. Don't make no mistake about it. They suck. They ain't going nowhere this year. They're not a good football team. Sirianni is finally happening. The tide is finally turning on him. He had to issue an apology to his fans for talking trash to his fans after barely skating by the sorry Browns, who the Commanders blew out the building, and they don't have Super Bowl aspirations, but they have a far better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. There's that. Now, Jalen Hurts didn't throw for a touchdown in that game. They struggled offensively. Saquon Barkley did not play particularly well in that game either. They don't have an identity as an offense. They don't have an identity as a team. That's just my long distance view on down 995 in Philadelphia. That's what I'm seeing. They don't have an identity as a football team at all. So, yeah, I don't think they're playing at a particularly high level. The Giants are going to give them a game. I think they're going to compete, and it's going to be tight. And sure, hell, the Giants might just win the game. Who knows? But I'm going with the Eagles in that football game. I sure hope they win. It'll be doing me a solid. I hope they take care of business as I look towards 2025 and beyond for the New York Giants, and hopefully end this hell that is the Daniel Jones era in New York. Because to make the same mistakes over and over and over again that I watched you make, to throw that football across and try to throw it in the middle of the field in the red zone on Sunday night. I'm not kidding. I literally I could have got a noise complaint in this apartment, bro. I was so mad because it's an interception he's thrown 3 or 4 times in his career in the same situation. So he's done here. And I think Giants fans are just ready to be put out of their misery with this guy. And so winning football games does not help our prerogative as a fan base. So I hope the Eagles get it done, but make no mistake about it. Again, the Eagles are not playing good football, and they could lose this game.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win this one. I do think now that they have A.J. Brown back and they got Davante Smith back healthy, that's going to open things back up again. And we kind of saw it already on Sunday last week, the deep threat with A.J., and you got the underneath stuff with Davante. That's going to be there every game for them. And I hope they can build some chemistry because AJ's been out since week 1. He got hurt midweek, week 2. So they haven't really had their number one guy, the guy they're paying as a top 5 receiver, to be able to play. And I mean, the Giants, I don't want to say they're sputtering, but they lost Andrew Thomas. Daniel Jones didn't look particularly good on Sunday Night Football. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to be as close of a game as Greg alluded to, or maybe that's what he wants. He wants it to be a blowout because he wants them to lose and run the table that way. So
next one we got Lions, Vikings. The Vikings are still undefeated. We already talked about Lions losing Aidan Hutchinson. Sam Darnold has looked great so far. Maybe not great. That's pushing. He's looked good so far this season. No Aidan Hutchinson. We already pointed out the stats that, hey, they ain't really getting no sacks outside of Aidan. Who do you have winning this game?
I got the Vikings winning this one. And that's because, yes, that was a big loss, losing Aidan Hutchinson. And I do believe Sam Darnold has, turned the corner this year, passing wise, and he's one of the MVP favorites right now. I mean, 6-0. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC. How could you not have him up there? So the thing I'm looking for is the battle of Brian Flores versus Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson is one of the better OCs in the league. I mean, you saw it on Sunday. They're running it up, passing back to Penei Sewell to jump in. They got guys. It's crazy how they were running it up on the Cowboys. But Brian Flores was able to give Bobby Slowick of the Texans fits when they played. And he's another guy who's up for a coaching job next season. So I'm interested to see. This is one of those games that could be really defining whether like Brian Flores is able to parlay this into a head coaching job. Probably not, but he'll be up there. And then Ben Johnson, if he's able to figure out this Vikings defense, that'll set them up really nicely moving forward. But I'm going with the Vikings. I think they got too much momentum. This defense is humming, and they don't really have anybody for Jettas. I mean, let's be honest. Most teams don't have anything for him.
Especially being that they like to play press coverage.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a rushing attack. You don't have pass rushers to really get to Darnold, which helps if you want to play press coverage. If you're not able to get to the quarterback and y'all playing press coverage with Jettas, he might break a record this weekend. It might be a zoo, honestly. Next game we got another team that's still undefeated. The Kansas City Chiefs or against the San Francisco 49ers. They're 3-3. How do you see this one panning out?
If this was ever a get-right game for the 49ers, I mean, they got to get this right at some point. They've been spiraling. They've been spiraling for some time now. So I'm leaning towards the Chiefs, though. I don't know. Something about it. Like, I can never go against Patrick Mahomes. Maybe if he plays the Bengals again at some point. But in this one, I don't see him losing to the 49ers. Yeah, I'm rocking with them.
I'm going to give this a go here, and we'll see how long I can do this. But with the 49ers, man, I don't know that I'd call this a get-right game. It's going to be a challenge. I think the Chiefs are coming off of a bye, right? So, when Andy Reid comes off a bye, I think I thought the record's like 21-4 or something all time, something crazy. That guy doesn't lose coming off buys, man. It's going to be a challenge for them, but a great game to watch nonetheless. The Chiefs defense gives me a lot of confidence in that football team that they can handle business and get a win. I think that really is the thing that I look at, and I think it separates these two teams. Obviously, the 49ers have a great defense too, but I trust Mahomes to dice up a great defense more than I trust Purdy to do so, right? I think that's the big thing. If the 49ers can run the football, they have a chance to win the game. But if the Chiefs start topping that run and can start teeing off and getting after him, good luck. It could be a long day, right? Or at least mixing up coverages and giving them a hard time. So they tackle well. They stop the run. The Chiefs are a complete football team. They're figuring themselves out as a team, what their identity is. Since losing Rashee Rice. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think the Chiefs are probably the best bet here, especially coming off a bye. Again, early in the season, coming off a bye, relatively healthy. Travis Kelce seems to have a pulse, right? And he's figuring out he's off the Taylor Swift hangover. So we'll figure it out. I think they're gonna play good football and get a win. But that's the way I'd go with it. And I know it's not a sexy pick because I ain't going against the grain, but nonetheless, it's probably the right one.
That's the thing that people didn't think about. He was just on a world tour and doing a podcast. That's a lot for Travis, who has never been on a world tour. Taylor has done it plenty of times, but he was on a world tour with Taylor Swift. So it's a lot that can take a lot out of you. Jets Steelers, does Tay Adams, does he help the Jets get in the win column this week?
I think so. I think this is the game that they do kind of figure things out. Like now you have Gary Wilson, who he'll be going against probably, I don't know, maybe Davante will be going against the second best corner, but I think those guys are going to be able to play off each other nicely. They can move around. There was a lot more movement in this Bills game, which that was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting as much movement pre-snap as I saw on Sunday or on Monday night. And you're bringing in Russell Wilson fresh off the couch, basically, to pretty good defense. I still think the Jets defense is pretty good. I mean, we gave up 20 points in the first half to the Bills. Looked like they were humming, and then things really slowed down in the second half. They weren't able to do much. So, yes, running. Let's see. Najee Harris is a little banged up. Jalen Warren. Let's see if they can run the ball. This would have been a game that, Justin Fields, I would have kept him in for. You add that element of dual threat. I mean, Josh Allen always gives us fits, but I welcome Russell Wilson. We'll knock him around a little bit. 1-2 step.
Look, I 1-2 step is crazy. I hope that the Jets get right here. I won't say that too loud, but I hope for their sake they get right. Because you make a trade like that, and you could see the pain in the Jets' faces last week, in Jets fans' faces last week after that game, losing to the Bills. And look, New York football fans deserve better than what they're getting. All right, to have the same record as the Giants when you added Aaron Rodgers is a joke. It doesn't make any sense. And so you hope they can figure it out. You hope that Aaron Rodgers is right. But let me just say this: if Aaron Rodgers play, because no one talks about this, if Aaron Rodgers play doesn't get better, and specifically in crucial moments, like on the last 2-minute drives of the game, to finish the game, to win the game, to ice it, to get back that Aaron Rodgers magic that he's had throughout his career. If that does not make a return, we're gonna have to take a hard look at Aaron Rodgers, man. There's no one else to blame. Ain't nobody left here. Hey, Mike Williams, you want him gone? He's gone. He ain't run the red line, so you got him out.
I mean, if you look at it, the Broncos game, sure, that was a wash. Torrential downpour, tough game. Kicker makes that field goal. We're not talking about that game.
You got to win that game to Aaron Rodgers, though. No, you got to win that game to Aaron Rodgers.
But that was a tough game. The line wasn't blocking. It was just terrible altogether. The Vikings game, what happens? The last two games, I'm not putting it on Mike Williams, but
what happened with the Vikings game? Whose fault was it? Whose fault was it the Vikings game?
He ain't at practice right now. What does that say?
Whose fault was it at the Vikings game? Whose fault was that? Who's to blame?
No, they didn't play well early on, and that put them
not they. Not they. Who? Not they.
Rodgers didn't play well early on, and then we got rolling in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden we have a drive to win the game, and a guy's not even aware of what's going on, and then he wasn't aware of what he was doing on Monday night. So, yeah, the Davante Adams trade had to happen regardless of what happened on Monday night, because you need somebody who has some chemistry. Allen Lazard, as good as he's playing, that guy's hands are bricks. They're bricks at times. Like, he dropped a pass against the Vikings. He's dropped passes over the last couple of years. So, but if things go a different way, this team is flipped. It's 4-2 instead of 2-4, which is how the league goes. But I'm not too worried. I'm hoping that we jumpstart things Sunday night against the Steelers and go from there. I mean, take it one game at a time. So,
look, man, I'm just saying there ain't gonna be nobody else to blame if Aaron Rodgers doesn't figure this thing out. If Aaron Rodgers does not start playing better football, it's gonna be you're gonna have to finally look at him. Which I would love some culpability for the guy. He don't deserve nice things. You don't go out to the media and tell people, oh yeah, my receiver didn't run the red line, which is why we didn't throw. That's why I threw the interception. Since when? We wouldn't accept that from anybody else. We shouldn't accept it from him. Like, the guy's a dirtbag. Let's just be real. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
We see the Jets sold their souls. That's what they did. Y'all sat on Satan's lap and said, "Here, you know, that's what y'all did." Even though we know Satan don't grant no wishes, we know you know what I mean. Y'all sold y'all soul. All right. So now we'll see what happens. We'll see if it goes your way. But I'm just saying, if the guy don't play good football, Todd Downing is here, and Nathaniel Hackett is gone. His man, his guy's gone.
But you saw the game on Monday night. You saw the game on Monday night.
More motion, yeah.
We saw like 30 flags that day. I felt like we were already in Pittsburgh. How many yellow towels we saw on the field? I mean, it was crazy. Every other play was what?
Undisciplined football team, yeah.
Undisciplined. There was a lot of. It felt like they wanted us to lose. Like anytime there would be a first down,
the like, PIs.
Wait. First down, all right, throw that flag.
The PIs were a bit were ridiculous. I thought there were some calls that went against you that shouldn't have got against you in that game. I'll give you that. But the illegal shifts, the holding on the offensive line, those calls, man, come on. We gotta be better. You gotta be better. And I'm gonna tell you again, be ready to look at Aaron Rodgers, is all I'm gonna say, because his day of reckoning is coming. His day of reckoning is coming. It's coming, man. I'm telling y'all right now. But we'll see. I think they're gonna beat the Steelers because the Steelers run an offense from 1975. And Mike Tomlin just keeps on running the same old nonsense back, hiring Arthur Smith of all people. I don't know what's wrong with that man. He does a great job, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'll say this to Steelers fans that listen to the podcast, anybody. And I talk about this all the time. I would much rather be a bad football team, a team like the Panthers, a team like the Giants, than be a team that is stuck in mediocrity where you are 9-9, 9-7, whatever the record is, 10-7. You know what I mean? Like 17 games. Don't be Captain Literal Man in the comments. You know what I'm talking about? A team that's damn near 500, just skating into the playoffs every single year. And we never been under 500 for the last 10 years. You also don't have a quarterback for the last 10 years. Not a coincidence. Great quarterbacks don't hit the market. Dak Prescott didn't hit the market. Jerry didn't let it happen. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm just saying, like, you need to pick a direction, guys. We're celebrating mediocrity. We talk about that never being under 500 thing. That little streak is mediocrity because you can't win a Super Bowl that way. And being a one and done in the playoffs sucks. So I'm gonna say.
You mentioned dirt bags. You mentioned Jerry Jones not letting his quarterback go.
Mm-hmm.
But as Miles alluded, maybe he should have. And maybe he should really let the team go. We've been saying it for years. People have been saying it for years. I posted it on Threads. Cowboys fans came under the comments and said, we hate him too. Everybody in the state of Texas does not like Jerry Jones. For those that do not know, go Google it and look it up. The man called in a radio station that he owns as Dallas Cowboys. The person asks questions like any other time about, hey, what did you do wrong? What could you have done better? And he threatened to fire the man. Told him he's not doing his job. You should only supposed to be asking me about what I do great. Literally, that's basically what he said. What was y'all thoughts? What was y'all takes hearing the audio of that, reading that article that Jerry Jones literally took it back to like Hitler days? Do what I say, and if you disagree with what I say, I'm gonna fire you.
I think when you see a guy, a billionaire, one of the wealthy people in the country, right, flex their muscle in that way, so publicly, it takes a special level of arrogance and a special level of evil, right, to threaten a man with his job because you can sway whatever you can make him dance like a puppet as well. And so there's no coincidence the Cowboys just want to bring. The Cowboys don't win football games, and they've been mediocre for all these years. And even when it looks like they're a great football team that wins 12, 13 games, they don't get it done. And it's not as simple as like personnel or Dak coming up short or what a defense coming up short. It's not just it. It truly is a culture that permeates from the top. And the top is Jerry Jones, and he's got his hands involved, and he fancies himself a football aficionado. He's going to practice. He's going to scout players. He's involved in all this stuff. And as long as that man is alive, because he's never going to not be the owner of the team. He's never going to not be involved as so long as he has two cents to his brain. You know what I'm saying? So as long as that man is alive and functioning, he will ruin that franchise and they will never go anywhere. And it starts and ends with the problem, starts and ends with him. Don't talk to me about Dak Prescott. Don't talk to me about Micah Parsons. Don't talk to me about none of that stuff. Don't talk to me about players, personnel. I don't want to hear it. Jerry Jones is where the Cowboys' problems start and end. With a guy like that running your football team, if you can't hold him accountable, how do you hold the players accountable? How? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's just the way life works, right? Like you have to be able to hold that guy accountable. Period. For all the problems I have with Mero over the years, that man when he's getting lit up in New York, I don't hear nothing from him. All right, like I'll give you that, right? But for this to be the reality that those guys operate in over in Dallas, for him to have the nerve to do that publicly, is because he feels like he don't got to answer to nobody. He doesn't respect any higher power. There's nothing that scares him. He figures that he's God over there. That's what he thinks. He has a superiority complex, and it's disgusting. Like Shannon Sharp said on ESPN, he said it great. He said he hates the guy. And look, I ain't saying I hate Jerry Jones, but I'm saying if the people over there do, I understand. And I'm saying that he doesn't deserve anything good happening over there. And I think, that's you reap what you sow, right? You reap what you sow. And so to do something like that, he showed his true colors. But if you're paying attention, if you have any intelligence whatsoever, you knew this already. And a lot of people know. People are hip. People are hip to who that guy is. So it was disgusting. And the Cowboys aren't going anywhere as long as that guy's there. I don't care what moves they make. They could have signed Derrick Henry. They could have signed any Pro Bowl you could name. They're not going to win anything. They're not. Serious. It's just the way it works.
He's the face of the franchise. It's not supposed to be this way. But if you look at it, this is who everybody's talking about every week. It's Jerry Jones. This is who they show every game day. That something bad happens, they pan to Jerry Jones. And yeah, hearing the comments, it does give off like, who are you? Like, how are you going to do that to the media? You can't. He's too old for this. He needs to almost do what Dolan does and give the responsibilities of the team to someone else, fade off into the distance. You can still be seen at events and all that stuff, but like, as long as you're the forefront of this team and you're doing things the way you do it, like this team is never going to win. Like, and they're not making moves that show me that they're going to win anytime soon. Like, sure, Dak, it seemed like that was the best course of action because quarterbacks don't just grow on trees. Like, franchise quarterbacks just don't fall out of the sky unless it's in Houston. So for Dak, I mean, you got your money. They're not playing well, though. You gave money to him, to CD. That was not the problem. Jerry Jones is the problem. He doesn't know what he's doing there. And he won't cede the GM role to anybody else. This feels like Belichick, too. Like, Belichick felt like he was too good to give anybody else responsibility of running the team. And what'd that do? Once Tom left, that team was ass. And until Jerry leaves, the Cowboys are going to be ass. It is what it is.
When it comes to the Cowboys, I don't know if y'all know, but Jerry Jones is going to be there forever. Listen to the podcast, somebody that's a Dallas Cowboys insider, and they said that there's holograms of Jerry Jones throughout the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
At halftime, the cheerleaders, they do their cheer. And at the end of the cheer, it's Jerry Jones saying, let's give it up for the Cowgirls in a hologram form. This man wants to be the face of everything, very egotistical. When you really think about it, the Cowboys are an entertainment product, not a football team. He won his Super Bowl when Forbes said that they were worth, what is it, $10 billion before the season started? He good. He's won his Super Bowl. That's all that man cares about. Don't convince me otherwise that he actually wants to win a Super Bowl. They could have won another 3 or 4, but he decided to fire Jimmy Johnson because he was getting too much credit. Jerry Jones is an Eagle maniac and does not know what he's doing. And I would not sign there, and it's proven. The man waited to sign those contracts purposely to get as much press as possible because that's his actual concern. That could have been done. CD could have been done. They did what? CD, I think the day before, the day of the first game, Dak was done. The Sunday, like, you're doing it for the press. You're doing it for the publication. You're doing it to get eyes on you, to stay, have the Cowboys in the conversation. But the actual winning aspect, you do not give a flying fudge about any of that, which is why I gladly decided I've stopped being a Cowboys fan for years now. I've never done any hard drugs in my life, and I wasn't going to start being a Cowboys fan. That's all I have to say on it. We could transition. There's no smooth transition after that. He is a dirt bag, some of the scum of the earth. I can't transition to that at all. I guess we could transition. Oh, cool. Dallas. We're talking about Dallas. Western Conference. Who are some players, the teams that you think have most approved that you watching for in this Western Conference? You know, the Mavs went to the finals last year, added Clay, added, who was it? Najee Marshall. They added some couple pieces, some teams and players that you're watching for in this Western Conference this upcoming season.
I'm concerned about Clank Thompson. I'm very concerned about him. You know, the play hasn't been great in the few preseason games he's played. He's not making shots there. And I know that the idea is that he's going to be wide open. And that's why, you know, it's a good move for Dallas, because Kyrie and Luka are going to take up so much attention in the defense that he's going to get open shots. And it's going to be a lot easier for him than it was in Golden State. The guys, I watched him in Golden State last year, he was missing open shots there too. Okay. You know, it's not, the concern isn't, if he was missing contested looks, I don't think anyone would be concerned with his play. I don't think he'd be a story. It's the fact that you're missing the open ones too. He started to play a little better towards the second half of the year, but I think we have to accept the fact that a man who has injured one of his legs, well, both of his legs, but one of his legs in damn near every region of his leg has been injured, right? The man's damn near paraplegic. When you are dealing with that level of injury, those level of injuries, severe, back to back, it's really hard to get back to where you were. And he is a textbook shooter. He lifts to shoot. He grazes off the ground to shoot the basketball like the dudes in the 90s did. All right. He ain't a guy who shoots on the ground. That's not really his game. So he needs the lift from his legs. And he's just not the same player. He's not the same player, man. When you talk about shooting at game speed, he's not the same player. So I'll be watching for him. Hopefully he plays well, because I'm not rooting for anyone's downfall. He seems like a very nice guy. I hope he figures it out. But it would completely it would make sense if he wasn't the same player ever again. You know what I mean? So that's one guy of note for me. Another guy I'm going to say right now, love Reed Shepherd. and let me tell you something. When you draft a Kentucky guard, it's like taking the best stock you could ever get. Whatever, you name it, is the best stock. It's a slam dunk every time. There are no bad Kentucky guards, man. They just don't exist. They don't exist. All right. So he's about to join the long lineage and legacy of these great
Briscoe?
Briscoe? I almost told him shut up. Briscoe working at his bodega right now. Nah, nah, man. I mean, and yes, Tone in the chat, I feel the people in. Tone said Arkansas guards going forward. Make no mistake about it. It is a Calipari thing. I do believe that now we're going to start seeing Arkansas guards be money. And that's where we're going to start seeing our great guards come from as well. But yeah, man, I mean, Reed Shepherd is special. He's special. The work ethic is there. He's a defensive menace. I love that about him. He is really good defensively, and that's going to earn him minutes early and often with Ime Udoka, who's an old school coach who relies on defense. You got to be able to play defensive play on his teams. That guy is going to be a staple for what the Rockets does, and he's going to be one of those. Every year now and then you draft a player who changes the culture of your basketball team, who makes you a winning team because he's a winning player. That's Reed Shepherd. It wasn't Jalen Green. Jalen Green is a nice ancillary piece. He's fine china. Great. Cool. He's a great athlete. He's great for the aesthetic of the team. But the real gem of that organization is going to be Reed Shepard moving forward. He's going to be the face of that franchise. I'm telling you, that's how good he is. He can shoot the ball, score at all 3 levels, and can defend his tail off. He's a competitor. He's going to do everything it takes to win basketball games. Calipari did a hell of a job coaching that guy last year. It's too bad Kentucky didn't see it that way. But it's all right. It's all right. Hope for Pope.
Hey, Miles. Hey, Miles, y'all mentioned Briscoe. In regards of Briscoe, right? We at Arkansas now, Calipari. I can't help but think I see similarities in regards of the struggling under the Calipari system. Do you see a bounce back here possibly from DJ Wagner Jr.?
I figured that's where it was going.
Yeah, we wasn't about to have a whole discussion about Briscoe. We wasn't doing that. No.
You scared me.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, he's kind of like a tweener. He's not really a point guard, but he's not that big to be a 2. So it's always going to be tough unless he's hitting shots at an incredible rate like Rob was last year. Then, I mean, this could be a guy who's coming off the bench for Calipari this year. Sure, you followed him to Arkansas, but you're not your father. Like he was the real deal. Like you're cool, and you could with time, given time, you're not. Your father's not pushing you to the league just yet. With time, you can be something special at Arkansas. But like I hope he takes the time to like work at it and develop because. Yeah, for a guy who was ranked as high as he was coming into Kentucky last year, like it was a bust of a year for him. Like he was an integral part of the team, but Rob passed him, Reed passed him, and these were guys who were coming off the bench who were like lottery picks. And you were up there like November. They're talking about him as a lottery pick last year, and then all of a sudden, if he would have left, he would have gone undrafted. So I mean. Kudos to him for not doing that. A lot of guys would have done that. But at Arkansas, we'll see. I mean, Coach Cal knows what he's doing.
You mentioned, and you could, after this, you could give your players a team that you're watching for in the West. But you mentioned something with Wagner that he took his time. His pops isn't forcing him or trying to push him to the league. He is letting him try to develop, like you said, if he left, he probably would have gone undrafted. Wagner doesn't hold as much weight in the NBA, that last name, but a last name that does hold weight is James. And it seems that LeBron James's son, Bronny, might have had to and should have taken the Wagner route and stayed another year.
Yeah, he definitely should have stayed another year. That's why I was trying to make. You caught on to what I was saying. Yeah, he should have stayed another year. I mean, a guy who he was touted coming out. I'm not going to say highly touted. He was touted coming out of high school and going to USC. I mean, maybe he should have gone somewhere else, being too close to home. But with everything that happened last year, he got off to a slow start. Sure, you could chalk it up to that he got off to a slow start and was never able to, build that chemistry at USC. And then he could have probably transferred somewhere else and been able to do something for a couple more years. Granted, it's not like this is a 6'8" guy. He's not Cooper Flagg. This is not somebody who's like that type of player. He's 6'3", tweener. He can pass a little bit. He can shoot a little bit, but he's not really either position. So for him to think that leaving was a good idea, but then to alienate 90% of the league and say you're not going to work out for them, you're being real selective with who you're, working out for. That was clearly not his position, but I don't think any of what has gone on the last 5-6 months has been him. It's all been orchestrated by Clutch and the powers that be over there. And I mean, that's the most powerful of them all is LeBron. So he did what he wanted to do. he knew that Bronny was most likely a 4-year college guy. He's not a one and done. 4 years from now, Bron ain't playing. If I want to be, make the cool story, it's gonna be in my doc at some point that my son threw me an alley-oop, like we back in the backyard. It's a cool story, but it does Bronny no good for him to be in the league and being exposed the way he is right now in preseason. And I'm sure he's gonna play because he's not on a 2-way contract. He's got a fully guaranteed deal, so he'll play some minutes at some point. But he's not ready for this. Like, he's not an NBA player right now. This is I'll say it, a mid-level college player right now who left way too early. So I hope that he gets better. I hope things get better. I hope he develops into what we potentially had seen. I mean, I know we had the comps coming into the draft. This is a guy who could be like a Drew Holiday. Fuck that. He ain't gonna be a Drew Holiday. Excuse my French, but he ain't gonna be that. So now we got to figure out what he can be in the league, because it's all in the name. I said that before. It's all in the name, and we're not talking about nepotism anymore. Like, it is what it is. But like, it sucks that he left, and it just feels like this is all on his dad. Like, I'm not putting it on him fully, but like Bron, you could have let him stay a couple more years. It didn't have to be this way. Like, he's not ready. He's not ready for the league.
I don't think I've ever seen NBA player as ill prepared to play NBA basketball as Bronny is. It's really bad. The game is too fast. It's too fast, and he plays too fast on top of it, which makes it worse. And he hasn't shown one redeemable quality outside of being able to pressure the ball a little bit on defense. That would make you think he could be on an NBA roster at all. Here's the thing, because Miles said it. You said it already, so I don't even want to cover that. It really concerns me about the Lakers long term, because this is a clown show. Okay? This is a circus. You're not much different than the Cowboys in terms of being an entertainment product, right? You're in LA. You're all finesse. You're no substance, right? As an organization, in terms of putting something out there that can actually do what you claim you're all about, which is winning championships. And it's disappointing because Bron still plays at a high level. And I'm past the point of feeling bad for LeBron James, because while this is a great story about Bronny, for him, and look, we'll look back at it fondly. I don't think it's going to be something we look at. If you're a Lakers fan, you won't look at it that way, but the world will look at it fondly, right? And so I just think with the second round pick and the 55th pick, there are a lot of guys that could help your basketball team a lot more than he can right now. This guy, Bronny, is terrible. Bronny isn't even bad in the sense that he's missing shots. He's not where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He doesn't know when to cut. He doesn't know where to go on the floor for basic spacing principles. That's the stuff that's concerning. And JJ Redick sits up there and he has to say, hey, man, Brian's gonna be a part of our development program here at the Lakers and this and that. All right, man. Like, he could get better. He's gonna work hard. I'm rooting for this kid. But this guy, it's really sad because he's a good kid, and what he's in for in terms of the level of criticism he's gonna get, I don't know that any kid at his age is really prepared for, truly, especially when he plays on night one. I think people are catching on to how bad he is in the preseason, but we don't have the same level of eyes on the product that we will come night one when they're on national television, on TNT, and they're playing, and everyone gets a chance to see him out there. And in the minutes where we finally get past the hoopla of the moment where he gets to be with his dad and get pictures, bro, like, it's going to be really, really bad. I mean, the social media, the media after the game talking to him about his performance, it's awful. It's awful. It's when he shoots the ball, it's not even close to going in the rim. I mean, this is past nerves. It's just too fast. The game is too fast. And he's not even a G League player, to be honest. He'll be there, but he's not. I just hope he can get better, and I hope the game can slow down for him in all seriousness. And I hope he gets really good coaching, because that's what he needs. That's truly what he needs to be an NBA player or to be anything close to that, right? As well. But to the Lakers, the big picture, it's concerning. It's concerning. You didn't make a single move this offseason. Basically, the only thing you did was go get Bronny and bring him in and draft him. You have done nothing. You drafted Connect, who has not shot the ball well. Everyone tells me he's this great shooter. I know it's on film in college. I know he'll get going, but he has not shot the ball well. They do have some undrafted free agents that I really, really like. I like the kid from Pittsburgh they brought in. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Hopefully he gives me a reason to remember his name, but he is a good player. And so I hope that those guys play well, but the Lakers have to make a trade, man. Pelinka and Jeanty Buss is unserious. She is so unserious as an owner. You sit there, you've kept Pelinka there for years. Pelinka went out there and traded for Russell Westbrook. I don't care if it was Bron that co-signed it. I don't care. Stop talking about LeBron James. Any other GM in the NBA is getting fired for that decision. I don't care what we're talking about. Anyone else. That's it. Russell was that bad here. He was that bad. He should have been fired right then and there. You broke up a championship team. He should have been fired and let JaVale walk. You should have been fired and let Dwight walk in the first place. Those decisions should have gotten you the axe when they didn't work. When they didn't work clearly. And so to me, it's an embarrassment that he's still the GM of the Lakers. I'm telling you right now, if there isn't a trade made by February that makes this team a lot better, I mean, if he's not fired after that, Lakers fans, abandon ship, because you got to think about this organization and what they've done over the last 6, 7, 8 years since Kobe's retirement. And even before that, they were god awful. LeBron happened to want to go there, which ended up winning you a championship because he was able to get AD to come, and AD played out of this world, which he has never accomplished again since playing that way. And I don't forget that. He has not shot the ball well since that first year he's been here. I digress. This organization is poorly run, and they're a piss poor franchise right now. They won a championship in 2020 because on LeBron and AD's backs, it has not been good since then, and even before then it wasn't good. So it's an embarrassment, honestly, for an organization with all that history to be or to be operating this way. And Jeanty, I don't like to come down on women in leadership positions. It's cool you're in this spot, I guess, but you're also a nipple baby, so I can go hard on you. This is ridiculous. You're terrible at what you do. You don't know what you're doing. This is not a family bodega. This is a proud franchise. There's no damn reason why they should be this bad. You're not paying your scouts enough money. You're not paying. This whole thing needs a revamp. This whole organization from the bottom down needs a revamp. From the top down needs a revamp. It's a joke. It's a joke. So I'll leave it at that. I think I've said my piece about the Lakers. And I know Tone feels this way.
I'm not going to drag on the episode. Y'all can go back and listen to other episodes. I think the front office, the ownership, all should be fired. I don't know why nobody has plugged in or planted evidence of her saying something like Donald Sterling just to get her out the door. Like,
they got AI now.
Yeah, something needs to be done. It's absolutely from top bottom. It's terrible. Before we end off the show with a couple of Kappa facts, in the Western Conference, these two players, came in highly recruited, coming out of college. They had a lot of expectations. The potential was through the roof. Both have dealt with injuries and off the court issues. They both are back this season. Supposedly, from all accounts, they seem in good health mentally, physically. We can't touch on emotional or spiritual, but the mental and the physical seems to be in a good place. Who do y'all think will actually reach their full potential, Zion Williamson or Ja Morant?
Oh, Ja.
Ja.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Zion happy ass. Hey man, I'm not taking no dude serious that can't keep his weight under control, making all that money. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. For a chef. That's the biggest issue. It's
Miles, it's embarrassing.
They make healthy food that tastes good. It don't have to be jambalaya and cheddar biscuits all day.
Nigga, he eating Jolly Bees every night and shit. It's embarrassing. He should be embarrassed. I just had a plate of asparagus, man. Give me a break. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really
He
is.
does look better this season, though, coming into the season.
It always is like this, though.
His face is still mad round. He had a round ass face. Still, sorry, yo, he's just getting late. He has a round face. So I don't know. He looks better. You know what it is? You know what we are with this tone? Seriously, you gotta believe it when you see it. You gotta believe it when you see it. Okay, I can't pick you. I'll pick Ja Morant. I gotta believe that he's put his guns away. He's, and we're gonna be in a good place there. And he's gonna play good. We know what he is. He's a killer. He's a great player. He's a killer, literally and figuratively. So we'll get a chance to see him play good basketball. I think that's the way I'm gonna go with this conversation.
Hey, for those that end up watching this, because y'all been going crazy on YouTube, if y'all didn't catch that, Greg uses hyperbole. So stop coming in the comments with the literal nonsense. Oh my gosh, you said Lonzo was a whole nother tear over Giddey. He's not light years above him. It's hyperbole. Hyperbole. And some of y'all are really highest level of idiots because it works. Because y'all in the comments. It did what it was supposed to do. Cap of facts. Ahston Jeanty should be the Heisman frontrunner.
All facts.
Yeah,
facts. Well, how many yards he got?
What they say, 95 carries. He's got like 1,000 yards.
Over 1,000
yards.
He's a complete back.
And then Travis, you better leave after this year. I'm not gonna get into it, but you equating that if I had 95 catches, what do you think I'd have? It's not the same. You're not starting with 11 sets of eyes on you every play you touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Starting in the backfield, 5 yards back. You're not doing that. And he's getting his props are like 200 yards over under every game. So there's levels to it, Travis. I get what you're doing, but the ifs you're using are insane. Like he's clearly the front runner right now.
He's not that smart. He's not that smart.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
No, his head is busy. He got a big ass head with nothing in it. It's not nothing's in his head. The reality of it is Ahston Jeanty is one of the greatest college football players of all time. That's the kind of season he's having. Mm-hmm. The numbers are baffling. And then, I saw a reel of his pass protection in shotgun. Lord, he's decleating dudes. He's an animal. He should be a first round pick in this year's draft, and he should probably go early or sooner rather than later. He's that good. He's putting better tape out there than damn Saquon Barkley. They don't run the same, but his contact balance is crazy. Dudes are like trying to bring him down. Like they're like he's carrying dudes down the field with him, and it's Boise. It's Boise State. Outside of their field being blue, we don't give a damn about no Boise State. And he is making the must-see television on his own. And on top, they run the ball 70% of the time, and teams know it's coming and they can't stop him. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, bro. He is such a good football player. He is gifted, truly. And so is Travis Hunter. We know what it is. We've talked about Travis Hunter on this podcast. But he needs O-line to make it work, but this dude is ridiculous. He don't need the same level. He's not as reliant as, a quarterback throwing his direction on offense and defense to make plays. That guy gets the ball most of the time. He's making plays. He's not getting injured, man. That's Jeanty, man. What a player.
We got one thing to end off the show, right? But to just throw out the stats. You mentioned his stats, just how astronomical it is.
It's ridiculous.
Last season, he had 220 carries, right? This is last season. 220 carries, 1,347 yards, 6.1 average per carry.
Oh, my God.
14 TDs. That was last year.
We didn't even hear about him last year.
Boise State. This year, remember, he had 220 carries last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, he's at 126 carries. He's already at 1,248 yards rushing. He had 1,300 last season. He's already at 1,200. with an average of 9.9 per carry. He touched
getting
the
a
ball.
first
It's a
down.
first down every time. And he already beat his touchdowns from last season. He has 17 touchdowns.
What? Yo, this
17.
is like college football. This is college football, the video game, like in real life. This is what you do when you put it on like the lowest level of varsity or freshman or something like that. You just playing and you made a running back and story. This is crazy. I mean, it's not a debate. It's not a debate. He is the Heisman. If he stopped playing now, he'd win Heisman. I don't what? Just what? If he gets injured tomorrow, it's over. And I don't care. He is the Heisman winner. That is it. Not just the front runner. Put it in his house now. Put the Heisman in his house right now.
And the thing that I know both of you guys will love, 0 fumbles.
He's gonna look good he's gonna look good in blue and white next year.
Who that? With the Panthers, yeah. What are you talking about? We ain't gonna be picking that high, unfortunately. I wish.
All right, I'm gonna list these players, right? You tell me.
Never again.
You tell me which of these players will make an all-star game this season. Which of these players this season will make the all-star? LaMelo Ball, Cade Cunningham.
LaMelo. Gifted.
Because the Hornets could be a lot better this year.
I just think LaMelo Ball's one of the most gifted players in the NBA. Top 5 most gifted guys. I don't give a damn.
Brandon Miller is going to make a big difference this year.
Oh, he's great. He's a killer.
Chet Holmgren or Alperen Sengun?
Sengun.
Yeah, Sengun is nice. Sengun. I thought about it for a second, but I heard Chet change his jump shot and it looked crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, Mikel's jump shot. We're not going to even go into the Mikel's jump shot.
Bro,
I don't get it. What the hell?
Yo, that's going to be a story. What is going on?
We might have to talk about it next episode.
We have to.
Who's his trainer? Who are these guys' trainers? That like
I don't know. It ain't me.
That wasn't Lethal Shooter either. I don't know what. We'll talk about that next episode. And for those that's asking, yes, we know the season starts the 22nd, but next week we'll have a show on the 23rd, and we will give you our award predictions. You're not going to choose the MVP off of one game anyway. So y'all get the award predictions next week. We'll talk about obviously the first couple of games from that night before, of course. Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie. MVP, All-Star, yeah, Kyrie.
All-Star. I'm gonna say Dame.
I sold my Dame stock already. I think his best days are behind him.
Last one, we end off this show right here. Bradley Beal or DeMar DeRozan?
What's C?
C is James Harden.
Damn.
Dude, I would pick James Harden before those two.
Oh, come on. Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't picking James Harden. No,
Bradley Beal is he's not an all-star player anymore, not on that team. And DeMar, I mean, if anything, I'd go DeMar.
Brett.
See, you can't even get it out.
Yeah.
All-star Brett.
Actually, no, the Miles is right. It's disgusting. This is disgusting. Why do you do this, man? Let's go to bed. Give me DeMar.
I do this for people that are on our comments saying that Josh Giddey is the next coming of Jesus Christ. It does numbers. These jokers love the players that we would think you couldn't even get Bradley's name out. So it's somebody that's going to be in our comments. Bradley Beal, of course. What's wrong with him?
So, you should do who plays more games, Lonzo or Ben Simmons this year?
Who plays? I got my money on Ben because Lonzo's not playing back to backs.
I mean, that's you better not bet too much money on that. You know,
hey, Lonzo played tonight, which was beautiful to see. He played well. We're not gonna go into more detail because we know a lot of people on YouTube hate Lonzo for whatever reason. But he went through all of that. He did his rehab and all that. He came and he played well on his first preseason game. And the only way that you play well after having 2.5 years off, losing basically every possible bone, cartilage, and blood platelet in your leg, is he stayed ready, so he ain't have to get ready. Man, be out. Peace.
Peace.
Miles saw where I was going with this.